What's up, YouTube? It's your boy P.kidd. This is P.kidd Talks NBA. We digging into something I actually didn't think I'd be making. You see, for a while, I'd always had the inkling to say that Coby White would be a starting shooting guard on a team, just maybe not for the Chicago Bulls. Why? We had Zach Lavine. But we may not be having Zach Lavine on the team anymore. Even if we do, with the recent development, do you put him back on the starting lineup when you have such growth and development happening with your young players, i.e., one in particular, Coby White? Let's talk about it. Listen, right now, Coby White is on a tear. I can't even hate on the brother. I'm happy. The man is actually living up to his expectations. He's playing at a phenomenal clip, and he's shooting the best he's ever shot in his career. He is absolutely taking advantage of the opportunity, and I can't say anything about it. The one thing I've always criticized him for is how he looked on the floor. At times, it looked like other players who were maybe younger and things of that nature looked more composed and things of that nature. It didn't look like as if he had complete control of his game. But I also have to take into consideration that he's still 23. Now, he's been in the league for quite some time, which will misconstrue some things. It'll send you for a loop when you really think about it. He's only 23, but he's like 4 or 5 seasons in, right? So it's still time. He's still relatively young. But naturally, in the state that we live in, and NBA being what it is, media being what it is, we are oftentimes comparing players. And it's like, man, they're running their own race. It happens. They develop at different times. I say all that to say, this is the video and the first time I have to admit that Coby White absolutely could be an all-star. Now, mind you, before everyone jumps down my throat, because I know a lot of people will sit there and watch this channel. They've seen me on Windy City Breeze, by the way. Follow us over there, by the way. I mean, your boy, we've been putting in work over there. But ultimately, I mean, you got to give credit where credit is due. There was a time where Coby White did not look like an all-star. He looked like a serviceable six-man. He looked like someone who could get you a bucket. We called him the microwave. How people remember that player. He could get you a couple buckets, but don't depend on him down the stretch. Now, it looks like Coby's taking his game to the next level. And there's no reason why he can't be an all-star. And it's funny how all this happened at one convenient time when Zach Lavine's not playing. Zach Lavine is not playing for whatever reason, this mysterious injury that they wanted to give him. And then now he's having the best ball of his life. Not only him, but Patrick Williams is developing a little more. So not only can Coby White be an all-star, but there's potential that we can see most improved from a Patrick Williams who can make this astronomical leap. Patrick Williams has the opportunity, especially if we make other moves to get people out of his way. I do believe that this team would be better without a la DeMar DeRozan. I'm not saying that we would win more games. I'm just saying that we have drafted so many young players who need the opportunity that it's kind of hard to do that when you have people in your way. So if you're going to pick an option or pick a side, pick a direction, and we really don't have an identity, now will be the perfect time to say, I'm rolling with these young guys. I'm going to give them a shot. I'm going to see what they can be. Now, that's not any diss to vets. We know that they're needed. But in this particular situation, if you're a Chicago Bulls fan, you know that, hey, it ain't been working. And we have more than enough young talent on this team. Something needs to shake. And ultimately, you got to get the young guys out there. So with that being the case, it's almost one of those things where you sit there and you wonder, is it any coincidence? Is it just by chance? Or is this really what's always been there? We just couldn't see it. We just weren't aware. We didn't know. Because there was always someone in the way of Coby White being who he is. Now, I still stand on that. That doesn't mean he can't be a playmaker, but I still stand on he's not a point guard. He is a playmaking too. Nothing wrong with that. I don't know why people sit there and make it seem like I'm dissing him. He's a shooting guard. He goes and gets buckets. He can make plays for others, but he is a bucket getter. Let that man go get buckets. I do think that he's developed a better handle than Zach Lavine. He's developed his game at a point now where at 23, 24, he has a better handle than Zach Lavine at 28. Now, that's a Zach problem. He has to fix that. But it goes to show you the development that Coby White is going, the transformation that he's undergoing right now, and ultimately what it can mean for us. Since Zach has sat down, we're 6-3. Coby White has led the charge, and it's not as if we haven't beat good teams. We've beat the Bucks. We've beat Miami, who's always seemed to have our number one way or the other. Again, going back to the Bucks, that's a Giannis and Dame led Buck. I was at that game. We've beat good players, good teams. We just beat Philly, who always seems to have our number. In fact, Joel Embiid was 12-1 against the Bulls before last night. 12-1. Now it's still 12-2, don't get me wrong. But you see the difference. There was a high probability that they should have won that game. And if you look at the first quarter comeback that they had, where it looked like we was going to get ran out the gym, that's a Coby White led charge. That's a Coby White moment where he put the team on his back. He got into everyone's faces. He said, hey, let's go. And they went. They balled. And they got back in that game. And before you know it, they're not in a let's claw ourselves back. They're in a commanding position on that court. That's leadership. That's all happening at one time. And it's happening at a time where it's like, hey, Coby White just got extended. A lot of people wanted to question why. Zach Lavine just got money. They wanted to question why. Well, you might be trading Zach Lavine. And instead of worrying about where you're going to get your 25 plus points a game, you now see where you can get it in Coby White. And if he can keep that up at that clip, there's no reason why he can't be an all-star. Now, there is still tough competition there, and that's yet to be seen, but it is something to consider. But I want to hear your thoughts, man. I know this is one of those things where I've mentioned it on the Breeze. I mentioned it on Bulls Breeze, but I want to hear your thoughts over here on P.kidd Talks NBA. Do you think Coby White is making that ascension? Is he taking that leap? Is this absolutely the right move for the Bulls to be taking? Let me know. Whether it's love, whether it's hate, put it in the chat. I'll be in there with you. Till next time. Peace.